and then just don't touch anything but the camera.
Well,
Yeah.
you talk truthfully.
I know.
That's what I do.
Okay, do you guys want another cup of coffee before she puts it away?
I'll buy it.
Great. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Do you want a new cup, Jamie? or you
No,
want
just
me to-
worse.
Yep.
Good?
Yep, now everyone's being alerted right now.
Good?
Yep.
Cool.
Am I shut this off? No?
No.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Wes, do you want to log in to make sure that you can hear everything okay?
Yeah, there's plenty of fruit. That'll be your food. It's really good. Well, we need to get too much rock before 10 to sneak up.
Like I said, man, I'm good.
I knew I put the Tito's at somewhere.
Really? Pretty good. Comes at night. We've been waiting for them. Yeah. But it's got a enclosed roof and everything. Really? Should be, it's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, so what just happened is they just uploaded more to viewers than one done. So,
Yeah. Those mountains and beverage, yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing all this technology going on. It's crazy.
are any of you logged on to Big Chat right now?
Yeah.
Wes, are you logged on?
I'm sorry.
Okay, someone just joined. Hey to everybody that is joining right now. We have an amazing, amazing segment coming up on Men and Work-Life Balance. We are checking the technology. We got the guys in the back. I'm so excited. So just hold tight. We're bringing up the viewership right now. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live right here, right on the dot at 9:30. You're going to see some hunky men sitting right here who are super successful. They're going to chat with you on work-life balance. Feel free to bring your questions. You can also message me directly right now on VidChat, and I will use those questions today right here live. See you at 9:30. I have them. I can text them to you.
Yeah, it's good. There's like a 2-minute delay.
Hey everybody for joining. Thank you so much to the new viewers. You know the drill. I'm going to say this 500 times. You know on the Dr. Jaime Show we go live 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. And today is no different. We're getting the technology up and running. And you know today we are going to have some super successful, super awesome guys chatting with you live on Work-Life Balance. So just hold tight until 9:30. Feel free to message me on VidChat your questions, and I will ask those questions today live. We have a handful of questions, 2 pages of questions to ask these guys today. I am so excited. I hope you are too. All right, to the viewers that just joined, you know the drill. Hang tight till 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have a super special segment for you today on Men and Work-Life Balance. Hunky, successful businessmen are going to be sitting right here live in these chairs to answer your questions. You can call in and ask your questions. You can message me on VidChat right now, and I will ask the guys the questions. And also, I have 2 pages of questions from you guys that we are going to ask live to these guys on Men and Work-Life Balance.
babies.
Basically built a really cool that created deep. There's some of the t-shirts was great. We did a lot in t-shirts. The thing was not in the end, right? No sale on that stuff. Just because I know it's normal to build something that do the same stuff only with somebody else.
Hair loss. Come on. I mean, I'm still doing it for the man, and I lost my. Dude, we got plenty, man.
You talking about two little peaks here and there?
No, I would worry about that white stuff on his head.
That's okay. Hey, he's had that since high school. Yeah, but this is fixable.
This was my wife.
All right, the viewers that just joined, can you hear the chaos in the background? Those are the men that are going to be coming up here chatting with you live on Work-Life Balance today. I'm so excited. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. We are on the official countdown. We have 14 minutes and we'll be live asking your questions to these men. I can't wait for you to meet them. I can't wait for you to ask your questions. We have 2 pages of questions to ask these men on Work-Life Balance, and I love it. They were kind of freaking out. They're like, wait, I don't do that. Wait, I need to work on that. Wait, I need to take notes. But at the same time, they are very successful and they manage so many different life roles. And I can't wait for you to ask your questions and for your questions right here to be answered. So just hang tight. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. These chairs will be filled, and you can ask your questions live right here. All right, so the 15 people that were here moments ago, you can plug your ears, but for the new viewers that just joined, just so you know, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to go live. So we have about 12 minutes, so just hang tight. But we have a super special, super awesome segment for you today on men and work-life balance. And we are going to have 4 men sitting right here answering your questions live in like 13 minutes. So just hang tight. We're going to have a great hour session on the Dr. Jaime Show.
So what's your
No, Sam.
Sam.
Hopefully, I won't get too deep into it on here last year. I was sick.
Oh, yeah?
So,
What happened?
First, my appendix, I didn't know.
Oh.
Later. And
I remember we saying something about that.
I had a double knee surgery a week earlier.
Oh.
So I was on here.
Yeah.
Just said they would die after about 8 days.
Dude.
And 1 week, yeah. So I didn't know what that was.
Oh. Hey, good
I'm
on you.
I'm on credit right now.
I'm on credit.
To the viewers that just joined, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, we go live on the Dr. Jaime Show. In the background, I have 4 super successful, super hunky guys that are going to chat with you about work-life balance. You wrote in, you asked questions, and these questions are going to be answered today, right here. I have 2 pages of questions. Feel free. You can still message me on VidChat right now, questions that we can add to the list and ask them, or you can call in live and ask those questions yourself directly to these guys. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to go live. Hold tight. I had to feed the guys, so I had people come here and make them omelets this morning because, right, we're going to get the most productive men when their tummies are full. So I had to pack their bellies. I'm sure someone out there is laughing at that.
That's why I'm doing another recording. I've got that.
So it's like Snapchat. It's kind of like disappears. I'm trying to
Like it does with this. It does it, and I tried it the first time because I love the picture of the page. So it's a lot of work. So I'm gonna take them to them. And I'm glad you guys look pretty today, because I actually wore pants today just to I'm serious. And now I see.
To the people that just joined, thank you so much for being here and logging in early. We are going live on the Dr. Jaime Show in just a matter of minutes, literally 10-minute countdown. Today, we have a special segment on men and work-life balance. And if you can hear the chatter in the background, those are the men that are going to be sitting right in these chairs answering your questions on work-life balance. I got 2 pages of questions in between VidChat and Facebook, and we are going to answer these questions on men and work-life balance for you today. Feel free to give a call in, men or women, and ask your questions live on the air. You can also message me on VidChat, and I will make sure that those questions get asked today right here on the Dr. Jaime Show. Just hold tight, 9 more minutes.
My mom does it. She calls it.
Listen, everything I say is purposeful, right? So on Facebook right now, you get super cheap clicks and views, so you can hear things with live. People watching it.
You signed it? Great. Yay.
Yep.
I love it. Thank you. Okay, bye guys.
Yeah, Facebook.
Thank you.
I like
Great,
that part.
alrighty, for you. So, and that's without going live, that's okay.
I'm
Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here early on the Dr. Jaime Show. Some of the guys are getting ready to take their chairs, get their coffees, getting together. These guys right here are going to answer your questions live on work-life balance in a matter of minutes. Literally 6 minutes, and we are going to go live on the Dr. Jaime Show. I'm so super excited. You see, not only are they successful, but they're hunky, right? I can say that. My husband's over there. He's okay with it. So anyways, I'm so excited. Just stay tuned. Just a few more minutes. And live, we are going to answer your questions. My husband's flexing. Do you want to
There
see?
you go.
Yeah. Look at that. I get to sit next to them for an hour. Keep the calls in so we can be here longer today. So I have 2 pages of your questions that are going to be answered by these guys. Feel free to call in and ask your questions or message me on VidChat. We have about 6 or 7 more minutes to message me, and I'll try to make sure that your question gets on these papers and answered today.
The questions coming from the.
Yeah, so what they'll do, is they'll call in, let's make sure the volume's all the way up. So they'll go ahead and then their face will pop up right here.
Right.
And they'll say, oh, I have a question for you, John, or they'll be like, hey guys, I have a question for you. Wes?
Grab some waters.
Yeah, sure.
How many?
Oh, I want.
You know what, let me just get 4 just in case. I got them right here, Wes. I got them right here.
Wes, you got Jaeger?
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Happy Friday.
They've been sitting out for a little while, so if they're not full,
Oh,
then
I
you
forgot
just-
about it.
Yeah.
There's-
It's not for everything, we're warm. Usually the one in the backseat of our car because we're just walking meeting.
Hey everyone that is just joining, thank you so much for holding tight, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right on the dot live, right here, we have a special segment for you on men and work-life balance. These guys are going to answer your questions live right here. Feel free to call in. We also have 2 pages of questions from you all that will be answered today on men and work-life balance. Just hold tight. We're going live soon. Yeah, right? I have it at 70. You guys want me to turn on? Yeah, let me bring a fan over.
There's a fan girls.
Yeah, I left me in the car, I thought it'd be weird.
There's always Wes.
He's on there, you get a fan boy.
Sometimes you can hear it in the camera.
Your
So
phone on, you don't vibrate?
yeah.
Omar was the only one that put it up. That's how you know.
What?
That's the only thing that goes to the gym right there.
The smallest guy.
Mine hurt, I've been back 4 days ago.
Does that do anything?
I have a lot. I have a lot. Yes.
He needs,
Wait till
You are
like
such a
6 months, man. I'll be ready.
I was disappointed.
Chris, does that do absolutely anything or no?
I can't
No.
believe
Yeah.
this close from up there.
No?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm starting to read
Okay, like
reports.
that?
and I'm
You feel it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can feel it, man, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can get another, you want me
Yeah,
to get another fan
I'd
over
say
it?
that, it's all right.
Okay,
So you can hear it on the thing.
so patiently, yeah, make sure,
You guys live
we
in
need
Florida.
a photo of these guys right here.
Oh, yeah, let's take a photo of
Yeah.
you guys.
I might need a flexing photo, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
that's not happening.
Good.
You know what, dude?
Tiny little guns, man.
No, it's-
Yeah, I like it. Do it. I don't get a gunshot. Come on.
The beach, it's this way. The beach is
Which
that
way?
way.
The beach is that way, and you know the water, right? If you-
Omar wants to do it. I could.
You all want to do it. Can you show me where the beach is, guys, please?
Oh, Lord.
Come on, there you
We
go.
won't post this.
Woo! Wait, it's just live.
Got some,
Yeah, it is
black
like-
belt on it. That flexing photo.
Yeah.
I'll break the internet.
Yeah, break the internet.
We live the
I'm
internet
posting
today.
that and putting hashtag break the internet.
I'm trying to get all these memes.
So for those of you that are just joining 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live right here, we are going to answer your questions on men and work-life balance. If you were one of the lucky few people that were just logged on minutes ago, you got to see all these hunky guys flex for you and show you where the beach is. If not, you can just replay the big chat video later and you can watch them. Take little photos yourself.
Make a joke out of it.
You can do that.
So let's see what time it is. All right, so in 4 minutes, we're going to go live right here on the Dr. Jaime Show and answer your questions on men and work-life balance. Feel free to message me on VidChat your questions. We have 2 pages of questions to ask today, and you can also call in live any point during the show and chat with these guys and ask them the questions that you may have.
Cool.
Do you guys want your papers or anything? Or are you good with that one?
I'm on the time.
Yeah.
Better for me
Okay,
anyway.
good.
You guys all look so pretty.
Wes, can you get
We
a
should
photo?
thank
of
our
them?
mothers.
Yeah.
You should thank our mothers. All right. I feel like I need to show you where the beach is. Can I show you where the
Yeah, good. They might get jealous about this, but
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see. All right. All right, 3 minutes live on the Dr. Jaime Show. These guys are going to answer your questions on work-life balance, specifically geared toward men. So just hold tight another 2.5 or 3 minutes, and we're going live right here. Give me something. Why don't you get up and dance?
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of all my filters right now. Mentally stupid.
We can get some Colombian dance moves, bro. I mean, yeah, I could.
Very good, very good. Okay.
Saving that for the right question.
Yeah, there you go.
You only have so many good answers.
On that note,
Are you guys okay? Do you want me to use my fan over there?
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
No, we should be coming across some. Start there at least.
I know I have it low. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't, not yet, but I'm sure I'm gonna get it afterwards, so.
I'll be in the garage, so
Okay,
with the door open, so you guys.
okay. Do you have it going on? Go ahead and put it on.
I know you can
Put it
look
on the
forward to
iPad.
your jokes. It wasn't a joke. I was just.
3-2-1
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Cereal goes 3, 2.
Normally we do.
Subsequent
Normally we
jokes.
do it. I always do. I do 3. I always do that because we do videos every Wednesday. Every
Ah.
Wednesday.
But that's, I'm just thinking the same
Less
thing.
than 2 minutes live here on the Dr. Jaime Show. These guys are going to answer your questions on men and work-life balance. We have 2 pages of questions from viewers. I'm so excited to have them answered for you today. And we're going to get insight into guys in work-life balance, which they're so underrepresented. So today, we're going to bring them to the light and get your questions answered. Just hold tight, about 1.5 minutes.
Trying to play
Friday the week.
No.
So that was kind of the consensus, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
So yeah,
56. 56. That's good. Yeah.
good, first time.
It's a really good sign.
All right, guys, 1 minute.
Remember, if you need anything, just say something.
Are there bathroom breaks? Can we get up for bathroom breaks?
Nope.
No. Hold it. All right, it is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and welcome to the Dr. Jaime Show. I am so excited that you are here today. I am excited to be here. I will admit I had butterflies in my stomach this morning. Don't tell them. But I am so thrilled that we are going to talk about men and work-life balance today. We have had so many people Facebook in, message me on Big Chat with their questions on men and work-life balance. And today, these hunky, successful guys are going to answer these questions for you right here. As always on the Dr. Jaime Show, make sure you have a pen, make sure you have some paper so you can take notes. And if you want, call in. You can call in live, ask these guys questions. And remember, oftentimes, what you're thinking, somebody else is thinking, and maybe they're too shy to speak up and ask. So ask for them. Speak up, call in, and ask your questions. So before we begin, I'm going to have these guys, and actually I have to tell you something super funny that happened last night before we introduce these guys. So last night I was doing like a prep walkthrough, and I was doing it with my husband, and I said, okay, so the way I'm going to do it is, we're going to turn to the guys. I'm going to say, okay, we're going to have these men talk, introduce themselves, because you can't use the word men. I'm like, why? He's like, it sounds like you're doing a biological experiment on these guys. So I'm not going to use the word men. It's going to be guys and work-life balance. There is no biological experiment going on these four men today. They did some paperwork. It is all ethical. Don't worry. But I am going to start out by these guys introducing themselves to you. They're going to talk to you a little bit about their families or their current situation, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about their business. So you're going to know where they work or what they do to get a little bit of insight so you know where your information is coming from today, live on the Dr. Jaime Show. So you all know me, Dr. Jaime, and right here to my right is Omar. Omar, do you want to take a minute to just chat about yourself?
Yes, I'd love to. My name is Omar Solomon. I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called College Hunks Hauling Junk. Hunk stands for honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable service. So by that definition, I still qualify, just barely. We are a national junk removal and moving franchise. We have 100 franchises across the country. Our corporate headquarters is right here in Tampa. I'm married. I have a 5-year-old son. I'm expecting another one. It's on the way. So in a couple months, I'll be the proud father of a little girl. So I have a boy and a girl. I grew up in Washington, D.C. Moved down to Tampa about 8 years ago. Met my wife about 5-6 years ago. And yeah, so that's kind of.
Okay, excellent. Now I have a question for you really quickly, and you guys, you have to think about this too. So can you tell us one thing that really nobody knows about you? Can you tell us something super unique?
Something really unique that nobody knows about me. Oh man, you really put me on the spot here.
I can tell you mine.
Okay.
Okay, nobody knows this except I think Wes and maybe like one group of women at the Superwoman Workshop. At night, you're gonna think this is so weird, so don't disconnect. I have to wear tall socks. So I have soccer socks, and since I was a little girl this big, I have to wear soccer socks to bed every night.
Okay.
Okay, unique and weird, right? Okay, so now everybody in the world knows. Hashtag crushing the internet.
I don't know how unique this is. I mean, I'm a night owl,
Okay.
and I guess people that I work with don't know. My wife obviously knows it. So I mean, I tend to stay up really late at night,
Okay.
and which is something I'd like to work on. But yeah,
Okay.
it's 2, 3 in the morning, I guess.
Okay, excellent.
I'm
All
still
right.
yelled at that for. Yeah, so my name's Chris Dennert. I own a company called Dennert Media Group. I'm a strategic consultant for a number of different companies. My forte is digital marketing, social media, and most importantly, deal structure. So I believe to my core that just because one person wins, it doesn't necessarily mean somebody else had to lose to do that. So I think with the proper creativity, you can structure deals that are a collective win. And what that's done for me is it's exponentially grown my company to the point where I have, I think, 13 different companies I either own outright, own majority share in, or own equity positions in. And while at the same time, I focus on certain key pieces. We'll get into some of that as we get into the interview a little bit more.
Excellent, excellent. And so, and maybe I missed it as I'm thinking about the butterflies in my stomach, but family, tell me a little bit about your family.
Oh yeah, my family, absolutely incredible. My wife is Alexis. She and I met 11 years ago next month at Gold's Gym, go figure, she came in for an interview, and I thought she was super hot. So I'm like, you got the job. Like, don't care what you're applying for. Like, you got it. And the owner wasn't too thrilled about that. But here we are, 11 years later. Got a beautiful little girl, Juliana. She's almost 2. The Daddy's Daughter Club. You don't even know what you're getting into right now. So it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But some of the craziest, best, and worst moments and thoughts, and hyperventilated for the first time in my life. You know, it's been wild. It's been real wild. But I'm blessed. I really am. You know, I've got an amazing family where I came from. They're as crazy as they are amazing, but I think that's what we're all about, right? It's the fabric that makes us epic as entrepreneurs. And you know, one of the things that a lot of people know about me is I've been arrested before. I was a felon, sadly, over some stupid things I did when I was young. Got past it, got it expunged, not a problem. It wasn't anything violent or dangerous. You know, it was based around drugs. And that's something that not a lot of people know about me, but it sure as hell is a part of where I am now and how successful I've been to this point. Because I think with a lot of entrepreneurs, it's a part of us just wants to prove people wrong. You know, a lot of people where I came from said I couldn't, said I won't, and I didn't let them take that dream from me. You know, no matter what happened, I took it to the next level, and I'm only partially the way there. So
nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Chris. Okay, all right, Damien.
I'm Damien Persiga. I'm with a domestic private equity firm that mainly deals with real estate. We do a lot of commercial hospitality real estate throughout the country. I'm a program manager for the firm. We do, you know, any projects from, you know, assisted living, major hotels, and office buildings throughout the country. The global headquarters is in London, but the domestic ones are here in Sacramento, or they're here in the States in Sacramento. Yeah, it's really enjoyable what I do. I'm originally from Chicago. Die-hard Cubs fan. I've been living here. It's you know, I never thought I was ever going to see the Cubs in the World Series. Thank God for that goat now. So no, but it's an exciting time for us. I've got an 18-month-old, Aston Mateo. He's awesome. Joy of my life, our life. My wife and I have been married for 7 years, and it's been a tremendous, epic 7 years. Something no one really knows about me. Well, my parents are Colombian, so for the longest time, you know, the typical thing about Colombians is coffee or the other stuff. Or the other stuff. No, so I didn't do that stuff. No, but really, I didn't drink coffee for 25 years, and almost got disowned. Like no one wanted it. Like I'd go to Colombia, people would offer me some coffee. I'm like, I don't drink coffee, and it was the total most offensive thing I've ever said to these family members. So
you started drinking it.
So I started drinking it.
So was it peer pressure?
It was peer pressure, and really, it came down to culture. You know, you gotta respect the heritage and everything else like that. You know, it's good. Am I addicted to it now? No.
Somewhat a
trendy, you know, but no.
He walked in with a pot of coffee.
But it's you know, it's one of those things that's it's amazing how you change or you evolve with time. And just a simple example of it.
Excellent, thank you, John.
I'm John Morello. I work for Meridian Asset Services, which is a loan servicing and asset management company here located in St. Petersburg, Florida. I just wanted to say hello to everyone on my CIT team, and thank you very much, Robbie, for approving my PTO. Right, to be here on the Dr. Jaime Show. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, dealing mostly in real estate assets and so forth. So I'm in client support. So I'm really trying to establish myself with this company, and we're really growing and really at exponential levels. And I'm really, there's a lot of growth opportunity there, and they've really seen the growth and the potential in myself and what I have proven thus far. So I'm really excited to really establish myself with this company. So I was really excited about that. I'm from New Jersey, been here, since '91, but been back and forth, came really back in 2012, and been with my girlfriend, Marissa, whom we've been seeing each other about 5 years, which we're looking to go take it to the next level here, and really trying to balance the whole, you know, establishing myself with this career and really trying to formulate my home life. So I'm really excited about that. And as far as something that no one really knows about it or really knows about me, or kind of a little weird, is I listen to documentaries at night in order to go to sleep. I throw on YouTube on my Wi-Fi so it doesn't kill my data plan, right? And it just goes over and over and over. And it's great. It's great for me because I don't have that visual stimulation with the TV. So like, after if I have to get up, go to the bathroom or get a drink of water or whatnot, I'll come back to the bed and, I've got that audio going, but then I can go right back to sleep. Perfect.
And you know that your data is not being killed, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Sleeping, right? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Break
Awesome.
the internet.
Awesome. Right. Hashtag break the internet. Okay. So, okay. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing a little bit about these guys. I want to start out, the Dr. Jaime show starts out with a quote every single time. Typically, I come with like 35 quotes because I can never freaking narrow it down. Quotes are so great. And then I narrow it down to 3. But believe it or not, right here, right now, I have narrowed it down to 1 quote. The first time ever. Can you believe that? That is amazing. I'm so proud of myself. And the quote is on the backboard right behind these guys. So we're going to start out with the quote. We're going to ask these guys if they think if it's true or not and sort of talk about it. And then we're going to jump right into questions. All right, so the question is by Zig Ziglar, or here's the quote. I believe that being successful means having a balance of success stories across the many areas of your life. You can't truly be considered successful in your business if your home life is in shambles. So, take a moment for a second. Do you think that that's true or not? Do you agree with that? And there's no right answer. Okay, so now I'm going to turn to the hunky panel, and I'm going to ask them. Do you guys think that that is true? And it's okay if it's not, but what do you think about this?
I personally think that it's true.
Okay.
At least you have to have some sort of balance. I mean, I even see in my father, he was a corporate executive for AIG, and I've seen him really dive into his career, trying to establish himself.
Okay.
And it was very tough for him to balance, a personal life, especially living in North Jersey, commuting to New York, where you're spending almost 2 hours commuting. So that's 4 hours a day that you're away from your family, away from, and you didn't have the technology that you have today, where you could FaceTime, where you could, instant message and whatnot, where you send a note. Come on, it's really kind of crazy. So I think that it's really important to have a really good home foundation, which I think will definitely, work out in your home life or in your work life.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think one thing I talked to my wife about is, if we're not happy, if you can't be happy in a shack, you're not going to be happy in a mansion. And so all the material things that you might accumulate really don't matter if you don't have core happiness. And I've heard the founder of a company called Zappos speak before, Tony Hsieh. He's big on kind of that true happiness and the different stages of happiness that people have. And it's really kind of, you ask yourself why 3 times. Why are you working? Well, to make money. Well, why do you want money? So I can buy nice things. Well, why do you want nice things? So I can be happy. Well, why don't you focus on being happy? Because that can cut out those other things that you're pursuing. And then, there's like rock star happiness where you're just, chasing the next high. And then there's true happiness where you have a higher purpose and you're working on things that are bigger than just yourself. And so I'm a big believer in that. And it's something that I think it's something that we try to work on in my house, definitely.
Nice. So what do you guys think though? What if you have what if you have a business that's super successful, bringing in millions of dollars? You're making clients happy. You're making customers happy. You even love every day what you do, but your home life is in shambles. Are you successful or no?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I've been in a lot of different scenarios, with volatile businesses like what I'm in, and I can tell you that, when you say higher purpose, it's a legacy, right? Like it's all about a legacy. What do you want that legacy to do? And there's an exercise that I've done. And it's write your own eulogy. What would your tombstone say? Some people say, there's 2 days in your life: when you're born, when you die. The middle's a dash. What does that dash mean? It's just some exercises to do, because I think ultimately that's what it's about, right? Like that dash is where we are right now. And it's about, and not to mention, I mean, from a success standpoint, I've had some really good things going on, and that was at that moment I was making a ton of cash, and that's when my wife and I split up for 6 months
Mhm.
in the middle because that was so much of the focus. Now, for some people, I mean, success is success. It depends on what your measurable is. And there can be individual success in all of those different verticals. However, as a collective, it's, you know, mental, physical, financial, emotional, spiritual, all of it collectively. I think what you'll find is that the money, if you're measuring by that, is actually at the lowest part of the totem pole because you're not taking any of it with you, right?
Mhm.
Like, what is that legacy that you left for my daughter, for my wife, for my family, for my friends, for the people who I've impacted to this point? I think that's more success because, you know, one of my favorite movies is Troy. You guys seen Troy?
Oh, yeah.
You guys see Troy? I love the show. Anyway, so Troy,
You guys have. I
there's a
haven't.
point in Troy
I'll just
where
walk
he's
off
on the
stage.
horse at the beginning. The little kid says, "Yo, I never want to fight him." He's like, "Well, that's why nobody will remember your name." Yo, that's the deal.
Mhm.
No one will remember your name. It's like if you had a bunch of money, there's only a small handful that made enough money for people to remember who the hell they were. And then there's the ones that impacted the world so deeply that, you know, they're going to be remembered forever, right? I think from a success standpoint, my measurable is leaving a legacy worth talking about 100 years after I'm gone.
Nice, I love it. Excellent. And Damien, what do you think? Do you think that that's true? Or
Oh,
no?
absolutely. I think one of the things I've learned through the years is really manage my business life. But one of the things that does impact my business life is any home-related issues.
Yes.
And you know, if you don't have that balance and not aware of what's going on at home, or if you're too aware, it will impact your careers and things like that. And I've had those days, and I definitely think it impacts me more if things are rough at home
Yep.
than if I was having a bad day at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can manage it. I tended, recently I've been better about leaving work at work.
Uh-huh.
And even though it's
not easy.
the most difficult thing on a planet,
easy,
especially when you're always connected. But you know, if something's rough at home, then it really impacts me
Yep.
at work. So I try to keep it as balanced as possible,
Nice.
just to minimize those potential impacts or issues that can cause additional heartache even at work.
I think the awareness part you're talking about is actually that's pretty important.
Yeah.
I don't want people to overlook that. Like, awareness is super important. Like, you could be aware you're being a totally shitty husband that day. It's okay, be aware of it though.
Right.
So that next day or that weekend you go away for a little 2-day thing or something. But the awareness, in my case, at least in the past, it's been changing over the last 18 months due to something that went down. If you're aware, I don't know. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Just be aware, right?
Yeah, and one of the things about awareness, it prevents habits.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
and
Well, drinking your own Kool-Aid. Like,
exactly.
oh no,
Yeah.
I'm right, you're wrong. It's like, no, that's not the case.
You know,
I was wrong that time.
Yeah,
Right.
as long as you know
Yeah.
something's going on, then it doesn't create a habit where it becomes
And you
a
own it.
norm.
Yeah,
And-
Yeah,
and
you know
you definitely have to
Exactly.
own it. You definitely have to be responsible and accountable for when you're right and when you're wrong. You know, not to say when you're right, but you know, definitely when you're wrong. I know. And to double down on what you had said, you know, about, you know, your home life. If you have a poor home life, it does affect your work because it definitely
For sure.
affects mine. If you know, if there's something going on, say with with Marissa and I or whatnot, you know, yes, it does affect, you know, my work, my attitude at work, not necessarily my attitude with my coworkers, but maybe necessarily my motivation, if you will, you know. And I put in long hours, you know. I'm trying to make something with my company. However, on the other side of it, you know, if you know when she and I are, you know, in a good space, in a really good space, I'm motivated. I'm ready to do, you know, I'm ready to take on the whole entire world. You know, I'm ready to break the internet. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
to break the internet.
absolutely.
Well,
you know.
and one of the things that I have to work on too is I call it compartmentalizing. So let's say Wes and I are doing absolutely awesome, but I have a completely crappy day at work. I have to be very cognizant not to come home and take all the crap that everybody else did to me or I did to the world or whatever it is out on Wes or out on my kids. And so, you know, if Wes makes a tiny mistake, doesn't take out the trash or doesn't, I have to be cognizant not to jump on him and everything that everyone else did, I'm putting out on him. So I can kind of relate to that as well.
I work from home.
Yeah.
Right? Internet marketer for the most part. You know, I work from home. So I have about 3 minutes from when I turn off my computer to walk downstairs and I'm in the middle with family. Like,
Yes.
that is not ideal. Okay, with a lot of people, you know, I just get off a call with a real, never mind, like you just don't want to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
So I think for those who don't have to deal with that, the ones who do, man, good luck, because I'm trying to figure that out too. But the ones who have that drive home, have a few specific things you listen to. Don't waste your time on these dumbass talk shows that do nothing but just spew negativity and politics and whatever you're dealing with. Listen to something that is actually going to feed your mind and get you in a proper frame of mind for
Like the Dr.
compartmentalization.
Jaime
Like
Show.
the Dr. Jaime Show. There you go.
Absolutely.
But I mean, anything of that nature to feed your mind and get you adjusted mentally, physically, emotionally before you go into the most important meeting of the day.
Yes.
You know, and I struggle with that because, like I said, I don't have that buffer.
Decompress time.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with you, Chris. I mean, there's so many times where I've had rough days at work, whether personal or professional, you know, and then on my way home in my transit, where I am fortunate enough to have that decompression, to have that cooling off time. You know, I'll throw on some Bob Marley or, you know, Satisfy My Soul or, you know, some song to put me in a good space so I can go ahead and release that negative energy. So when I do come home to my home life, you know, I leave that at work. I
So
leave
tip
that.
number one would be decompress time. Finding something with making the most of your time. So if you have any type of drive home, instead of sitting there ruminating and thinking about the crap that happened in the day or what you're about to walk into when you go home or listening to politics, right, which can drive you crazy, put on something like, almost like mindless, something fun, something exciting, or something to just kind of put you in a good space, right? So number one, use decompress time. So are you guys ready to jump into the questions?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right, so the questions I'm about to ask came from you all. They came from people, viewers on VidChat, or they came from people that messaged me directly on Facebook. So these are your questions, and we're going to get to as many as we can in the next 35, 40 minutes of time. Okay, so first question, and you all don't have to answer these, you know, one or two of you, and then we'll continue on. Number one, how do you make decisions on what comes first in life, daily, monthly, etc.? So how do you make decisions on what comes first in life?
Wow.
Crickets.
You start with that one.
Right.
You stumped them live on the air.
Okay, we're all broken. You can't make. You just broke the internet. But that's a tough one because like we can't. Like it's whatever. You know, sometimes I have a really good day. Sometimes a really bad day.
Okay.
You know what comes first. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to be around my family for the most part of the day, so I try to make my daughter breakfast every single morning because that makes me happy.
Okay.
And then I try not to schedule any calls before like 10 a.m.
Okay.
Like that's my minimum, right?
Okay.
So I mean, for me, that's how I try to put it's about putting a system in place that's not too shitty,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
Mhm.
It's try to put something in place that's going to kind of keep you in check, even though you know you can break it if you want to,
Mhm.
but it's going to kind of keep you in line. I think that's really important.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think if you look at business and home life, it's important to have a vision.
Okay.
And in business, you hear that a lot. So you have to have a vision for where your company's going. But I think the same is true for your relationship and your home life as well. It's like, what's the vision?
Nice.
And then you reverse engineer that. And so obviously you want to be happy, but what does it look like? And it's good. I know my business partner has done this with his wife, and he's an advocate of it. Is like putting that vision board together with your wife.
Nice.
And, what does our life look like
Tip number two.
5 years from now? Not just material things,
Yeah.
but how does it feel? What's the emotions? And when you start with that, then it kind of allows you to make the decisions that are best to achieve
In line
that.
with that.
And
Nice.
I don't have to go in that direction.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else want to chime in before we go on?
We've done that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So when last minute business issues pop up, if it interferes with a commitment with your family, how do you handle it?
Commitments are commitments.
Okay.
And that's something you do have to work around. And if it's especially at work, if something does come up last minute, and you can honestly tell them that you've made a commitment, and commitments is what it means, that you're committed to do something, and you have to follow through, because it comes down to reputation. Even if it's your family, it's all about your reputation and your words. So that's one of the things that I've learned through the years. When I do make a commitment, I will follow through.
Okay.
You know?
And I think that's just one of those things where you just once again you have to make the people around you aware. Just let them know that, hey, this is the kind of commitments I have, especially in people in our positions. Luckily, we probably have the liberty to be very upfront and candid with the people we work with.
Nice. Okay.
For me, I have a tough time saying no. That's something that I'm trying to work on. And ironically, Marissa mentioned something to me just a couple of days ago, because I had something come up. And she had mentioned something to me that Oprah had said that she had went through the same problems until she said something along the lines of, no, that just doesn't work for me right now. I can't do it. And not necessarily say it in that way, and especially conveyed to your superiors or anyone whom you work with, or especially if, an authority figure. But you word it in such an appropriate, hey, listen, I have something important at home. I'll tell you what, we'll circle back. We can do, there's transitions that, you can work on, that I'm currently working on in order to circumvent such a disaster where you are saying, okay, what can I do? And then you're showing up an hour and a half, 2 hours late to the commitment, and then you have to deal with not just showing up late and, trying to do damage control. And then after you do damage control, then you also have to, handle the repercussions of showing up late.
So what do you do from a guy's perspective? Because I'm thinking from a woman's perspective, but what if something in business comes up that isn't optional? It doesn't matter that you're committed. It doesn't matter that you're going to circle back around. It literally, they don't give a crap. You have to do this business thing. Or maybe landing this business thing could make your family hundreds of thousands of dollars or something, let's say, and wow, I can't blow this. How do you reverse that commitment with your family, or how do you make it up to them?
Well, I've been through that, right?
Okay.
Like from the first part, not necessarily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the tips I can give you, one of the things I do, I schedule everything in my calendar, and my wife is even getting to the point where she puts her workouts in my calendar because I'm watching the baby, right? When she's going to the gym, I'm watching the baby. When we're going to her mom's house for dinner, because the grandparents are over, that's in my calendar. So when there's nothing that really pops up on me, because when it pops up, they're like, hey, you got 6 o'clock open? I'm like, nope. What next? Now, that being said, from an opportunity standpoint, I acquire deals and companies and things like this. So when something pops up, 2 weeks ago, I had to fly to Nashville, right? In that case, I just told her, I said, hey, I got to go to Nashville. I got to go for 3 days. It's an awesome event. I'm going to make a ton of money up there. You can either come or you can stay. She decided to come, right? So for me,
so
it's about
including the family. So
well, absolutely, without a doubt. My mastermind coming up in a week and a half over here. I was like, hey, I got a hotel. You and the baby want to come over, hang out at the pool all day? I got to be busy all day. Like, don't even bug me. I'm busy, but you can come, play, hang out, go on a kayak. I don't care, whatever you want to do. So I've been including them a lot. Now I know that's not ideal for a lot of people's scenario. Maybe the wife works. I don't know. That's on you, but. For me, I know that now when that's not the case, and what I was getting at originally is that's just got to be an understanding.
Yeah.
If she intimately understands what I do and what I provide, then when that happens, it's no alpha male thing. It's like, honey, this is how we put food on the table. So if this scenario pops up, I'm out. And I'll be back. Like always, you can come if you want. It's going to not be ideal if you come in, but you can come. So you can see it. And that's actually helped her a lot, is understand what I got to go through. And then she don't want to come to me.
Yeah, I love that tip for women out there listening. I think it's super important that we have an understanding of what our men do. Sometimes we want to micromanage and control situations, but if they are providing for us, even if it's a team effort, and they're half of providing, it's important to understand what they do. I love that.
One of the things, going back to the commitments, there's always situations. And luckily, my wife is also career-minded, successful, whatnot. So I have to respect her time as much as I have to respect mine, and also our whole family in general. But there's going to be those times where you do have to make that phone call, honey, this is what came up. And as long as you have that understanding, and it's not a habit, it's not something you do like 3 or 4 times a week, there's always that emergency. Luckily, I think everyone in the culture at the firm I'm with has that same mindset. Let's avoid these last minute situations. And as long as your team or the team is aware that this is what we're trying to minimize, is create that work-life balance. But at the same time, not always make an issue of the issue that has to be done at that moment. You know, there's always time. You can always negotiate, you know, when things can be done and do. But when that emergency does pop up, you know, everyone just has to work together in that instant.
And I like to say definitely communication is key. You know, when I was first starting with this company, you know, I was putting in, you know, maybe 9.5 hours a day. However, with this recent promotion that I got, I communicated to Marissa that, listen, you know, she knows that I put in, you know, anywhere between, you know, 10.5 to 12, sometimes 12, 14 hours a day. You know, it's what the job calls for, you know, and, you know, yeah, it is tough sometimes. But at the same time, it's not going to be like this forever. You know, I mean, these are the happy growing times, the happy growing things. So she understands what I'm trying to do. She's on board with my career objectives as I'm on board with hers.
Okay.
You know, there are going to be times where she's a pulmonology nurse.
Okay.
So she may have to, you know, go to the hospital, or she may be called away for a doctor or doing whatever, some medical thing, you know, and I understand that. And it may not necessarily happen a lot, or it doesn't necessarily happen all the time, even like with me. However, I'm aware of it.
Okay.
She's aware of it.
So being on the same page, communication.
I got one more thing. It's it. And if they're getting really pissed off because you got to always do last minute stuff, that's actually not the problem. The problem is that you got breakdowns everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're happy, they're, you know, emotionally filled, you know, you're meeting needs, everything. If you're doing it right, then you're not having problems like this. That's just an indicator. That's the straw that broke that camel's back. Just so you know.
Okay.
Like when everything else is busted, everything else is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Dishes in the wrong spot in the dishwasher is as big as having the last minute commitment if everything else is broken.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah. But women don't complain, so how are you coming to this
They don't,
conclusion?
really.
We're not
That's
fussy.
so odd.
We don't
I
complain.
didn't get that.
Is that an episode?
Right?
Let me tune in now.
And Jamie is being booed off stage. All right, let's ask another one here. Okay, let me see if I can find a super good one. Okay, how do you let your dreams come true and make sure she is still able to work on her dreams and goals?
Wow. Yeah.
It's an important one. And that's a tough one. My wife stays at home with our son, so you know, there's times when I think she feels like she's sacrificed some of the things that she could be doing.
Yeah.
And so trying to make sure she's always finding her passion, or doing something that she's passionate about it's tough. And you know, that's one that we struggle with, because you know, sure, you know, I might be doing things and living my passion, and she's happy about that, but that's not necessarily her career and things that she's doing. So I just talk to her about, hey, is there anything else that you'd want to do? You know, are you happy with where you're at? But it's something that, you know, I struggle with for sure.
Okay.
The exact same answer. Like the exact same answer as what he's doing with my wife. She's a 9-year radiology tech at the hospital, right? So when we had a little girl, you know, she came home, is now stay-at-home mom. Now, obviously, that's your wife's driving her crazy, driving mine crazy. It happens, right? So what I've done that made it easier is because at one point there's this perception that it's on you. You're the reason I'm this, right? Well, I'm like, listen, at any time, whenever you want to go back, go. Like, it has nothing to do, I will support you 100%. Go, right? But then when it doesn't happen, and sorry, babe, if you're watching, but when it doesn't happen, it ain't on me. It's on you. But when you, again, being aware, when they're aware that I am or am not going down a path that I want to go, I can't blame anybody else at that point. And it's made it a lot easier because whenever that conversation does surface every 6 months or so, I'm like, I told you a year and a half ago, go back, do whatever you want. We just wanted the 1 year with the baby, and at that point, you make whatever decision you want, go back and this and that. So she may do it. I hope she does. If it makes her happy, she loves animals. Maybe she'll go. I was like, hey, we'll get a vet clinic. I don't know, right?
Right.
Just be supportive, because ultimately, without them, in most cases, unless you're in a bad relationship anyway, but in most cases, without them, you're nothing. So you got to support them with what they're doing and what they're thinking. and give them the freedom to make that decision, in my case.
So ladies, if you're watching too, a tip that you can take from here is, you know, you can still go for that passion even while having kids. And oftentimes a great husband is going to go ahead and encourage you. And so when they say, go back, go do it, go do, they're not fronting something and we have to read in between what they're saying. They're literally just saying, go back and do it. So don't wait, because I have clients that come to me 40s, 50s, and now they're like, my kids are gone. I don't know what I like. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to begin. So if you have the opportunity and the support system that's encouraging you to go back and start living your dream. That's what I'm hearing, right? Is you want that, right?
I genuinely do. Like, her happiness is one of the most important things to me. And again, like, just because I'm doing my thing, making me happy, like, I'm building and leaving a legacy. You know, that is compartmentalized over here. I could do that all on my own. It's even sweeter when I get to do it with my family. You know, you just got to be encouraging and be aware too, because, you know, we function as an entrepreneur, you know, a serial entrepreneur. We all heard that disease, right? I function at a real high level. You know, she doesn't function on that level, so I can't expect her to function on that level and understand me and this and that. So you just got to shut up, talk, communicate, and really, really, really listen, which is something over the last year I've gotten better at. I'm not a perfect husband on any stretch, but I've gotten a lot better in that area, you know, which has helped her, you know, start to put back in her resume at these different hospitals. I mean, she's a trauma 1 specialist. Like, she'll get in, but now at least she's putting that in, renewing her licenses, things like that, and it's making her genuinely happy. If she never pulls the trigger, fine, but it's the mental, internal, subconscious decision that I'm still in control of my life, right?
Excellent.
And also go to, there's a, what are some of those programs? Oh, wait, Tony Robbins and Lisa Power Within. There's a group that's, anyway, I can't think of it. But anyway, some of these powerful seminars about truly finding out. Yeah, TED Talks is one, but there's one, it's like a community. Like, I can't think of it.
Okay.
Anyway, my friend Franklin, love you for watching, dude. He just is one of the speakers at this thing.
Nice.
Anyway, it's amazing. But going to places like that and finding out what people's passions are. Because a lot of times, even still, like, what are you passionate about? I don't know. That's a bad one, you know. You got to have passion every day when you wake up, because even on bad days, at least you're doing something you love, right? So helping them pull that out with kitty gloves on is helpful. Going to these events, going to, you know, inspirational people, inspirational women. You're doing an amazing job with bringing powerful women out, right? Like, that's super important. And if your woman doesn't have that, be that for her, and it'll go a long way during tough times.
I love that. Okay, anything else before we go to the next question? Okay. All right. Have you ever got to the point where you said, screw it, just because you were doing so much? How did you get through that? And I'm going to say that first, even though I'm not a man. Yes, I've said screw it before. Not a good idea. So have you ever been to that point where you're just like, screw it all, I'm done.
I think all of us really have at some point in our lives. And anyone who says no, I mean, they're lying, inherently lying. But I mean, I'll tell you that I've gotten to the point where I've just said, screw it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
This is child friendly.
Right. But then again, it's that, I mean, I'm an emotional person, you know, and when I get really heated, I know, I mean, obviously over the course of years in working on myself, that, you know, I need time to, I just need to cool off. I need to go do something, need to go for a walk, do something where I just need to recalibrate, refocus, and then reprioritize. Okay, if this is not working for me with what I'm doing, what am I doing wrong, and how can I fix it? You know, what can I do? And if I have to call, you know, if I have to call Les up, if I got to call you, or you know, or any of my other friends, or you know, talk to my parents, or whomever, you know, someone who's either been there, who's experienced that, you know, just to get some sort of inspiration, you know, something, you know, to really push you in the right direction. I'm not going to say they're going to give you the answer, but what they say may invoke a thought. Okay, that is what I got to do. It's like, all right, I got to get going. All right, I'll call you back.
That's a great point. I think having mentors, whether it's your family
Absolutely.
or other people in the same, you know, industry that you're in, having folks that you can talk to, that they share their experience and what they've been through. I mean, it's an invaluable resource.
The mentor thing in every vertical, right? I'm meeting one today, my buddy Mike. Amazing businessman, business structure guy. I got deals on my plate. We're gonna go meet him when we leave, right? My friend Eric is a great husband. My friend Blake, great husband and father. right? So whenever I'm dealing with things, you got to know who your rock is in that vertical and call them, because those moments do come up, and it's how fast can you get past them. They don't own you, you own them. That's a thought you had. That thought didn't have you, right? So when you have that thought, you got to know immediately how to suppress it, move along. Or not even suppress it, just get rid of it and move along, because it's just a speck in your day, in your life, and everything else. And for me, especially, we laughed earlier, I'm here on credit, right? So with me, it's, does your why make you cry? That's something I heard a long time ago. It always stuck with me. And as long as you know your why, I think it's super important. And what I've tried to do is everything I do, it has a purpose. I have a charity. I work with other charities. I have my family. If you can associate a purposeful thing to your work, it's a lot easier to get past. There's no screw it, like, yeah, I'm done. Like, that doesn't exist, because it's associated with something powerful, meaningful, your why, right? You can always look back at that and like, whatever, I'm over here, and move it along.
Nice. So what would you guys say to the guy that, because I'm thinking about women, sometimes women say to me, Jamie, I don't have any support systems. Jamie, I don't know my why. So there might be a guy listening right now that says, you know what, I'm restructuring everything in my life. Like one guy said, I'm recently divorced and trying to find myself again. Any tips? So what do you do for the guy that feels he doesn't have support systems right now, and he's restarting, like he doesn't have a why. He just is like, I don't even know where to begin. What do you say to someone like
Pick
that?
4 arenas, 5 arenas in your life, and who do you look up to the most in those 5 areas?
Okay.
3 areas, 2 areas, and reach out to them.
I'm
It doesn't matter how high up. There's professional athletes that I'm blessed to know. There's celebrities that I've been blessed to get to know. And when I'm having a spiritual issue, I know who I can reach out to. When I'm having a business issue, I know who to reach out to. And it's a hell of a place to start, right? And nothing feels as good to someone to be told, hey, listen, I'm going through some things, and if I could be doing it perfectly, it would kind of look like what you're doing. So every now and again, let's just wrap. I'm not here to take away from time, but I think that's super important. The mentor thing, it's
So if a guy
cornerstones.
doesn't have that type of support to reach out to, would you recommend? Could they do things like read books of mental, like I read John C. Maxwell or stuff like
No,
that?
absolutely. One needs to get inspiration somewhere. If you're really trying to reestablish yourself and find something, you don't have a support system, you got to have some sort of tools. Circling back to like the mentor or friends or family. I look at each person as a tool. Not every tool is going to fix every job. I can't take a hammer and fix something for a screw. Something that needs a screwdriver. It just doesn't work. But if I have a spiritual problem, I know someone to call. If I have a medical problem, I know someone to call. You know what I'm saying? Or a book to read, or a video to watch, or a YouTube, or we have resources that are available.
Okay.
So it's communication, and I think that a lot of negativity, self-talk. I think that's really tough. People get too consumed with them. I know I did. I got really consumed with my own, drama, or my own, mess, if you will. Whether it's in my professional or my personal life. I just needed to, clear the air, and sometimes you just need to, take a deep breath, say, okay, well, what do I got? What do I do? And maybe write things down.
Okay.
I think when you have a life-changing experience like that, it might be the opportunity to reconnect.
Okay.
When you go through different phases of your life, you lose connections. And like an old friend from middle school or high school, those friends are not going to not pick up the phone if you call them. So, sometimes it's good to start back before you got into that particular predicament.
Excellent.
So
you realize that you're not the only one that went through that thing.
absolutely.
Right. Or haven't gone through that thing before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, your peers are a good start. Your old friends, family. Sometimes your cousins or something like that, or uncles or aunts, they've gone through things like that. People have gone. You're not the only person in the world that's gone through that.
Okay.
And I think you just embracing other people's experiences will help you get through this. And I know I've had great friends. I still have great friends. I'm that kind of guy that has the handful of friends that if something was to happen, I can count on.
Yep.
And There's times where I haven't spoken to them in months, maybe even years, but I know that if I picked up the phone, they would be there for me.
Yeah.
So everyone has that friend or that family member. So I think that's where you can always start.
And books too. I mean, you mentioned books. There's a lot of good books out there. But
Go ahead. You
I was gonna pile onto what he said. I think living outside of your comfort zone or doing things outside your comfort zone is really important, because that's when opportunities start to happen. So, you know, when you are facing that tough time or you feel like you don't have people to connect with, go do something that you normally wouldn't do. I mean, even like sitting here and doing this is a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I'm learning a lot, and I think that's when opportunities start to manifest, is when you do things that you're not, you know, my comfort zone is sitting on my couch watching Netflix.
Yeah, there you go.
But you know,
Not being on live TV.
There you go,
you know, doing stuff like this or whatever it might be is when really cool things start happening.
I love it. So I've heard the word communication a lot. I've heard the word awareness a lot. Support systems and
Mentors.
living outside your comfort zone. Mentors. Make sure you're taking notes. Okay. All right.
and find them. Find mentors. You can reach out. You don't have to know them. There's people I respect that I've never met. You know, I'm not afraid to reach out to them. You know.
One thing, I mean, I dabble in obviously all the social medias, but LinkedIn, if you follow like a lot of these influential people on LinkedIn, they publish and some great articles on time management, on life-changing effects. You know, so Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, you know, you name it, they've all done it. All the sharks, Mark Cuban, you know, it just, Marissa Mayer, all these different people, they all have gone through experiences that got them to that point in their lives. And those articles, you know, they don't call those people influential members for nothing. They do influence, not only from their careers, but also, you know, their mindset. So that also helps, you know, can also help develop or change or assist you in whatever situation you're going through.
Absolutely. That's a great.
Just quit wasting your time.
Yeah.
So many people waste their time watching TV. You know,
Watching Netflix.
On the couch. That's decompress time. You can have
the other day,
decompress
I was talking. I had the blessing of talking with Jesse Hitson. You know Jesse Hitson. He created the Zico coconut water. What is it? Marquis Jets we sold to freaking Buffett. His wife did Spanx. Like they're sick.
Yeah.
And he said he blocks off this whole day, and he accounts for 2 hours of him time. He decides to watch sports. He owns part of the Atlanta Hawks as well. So like well, I mean, listen, he's
So for those of you that
and he started off as
the NFL,
and he started off as a white rapper, right? So like Jesse Itzler, he's pretty amazing. Just came out with a new thing called No Better Bread, which is amazing, healthier food for kids and stuff. Anyway, whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, like just like it said, he accounts for a certain amount of hours. What's going to happen is whenever you're lost, right? Because I was there for a moment, and well, for a long moment, and when you're there, you want to just waste time, whatever, get your mind off of it. That's really not helpful, because everywhere you go, especially the media, it just dumps poison into you, and it allows you to attach yourself, because now you're bare. You just got ripped off of a thing, a person, a relationship, something, and you're bare and you're vulnerable, and you want to get attached back to something quick. You better be damn sure what you attach yourself to, because if it's politics or negativity or the next drama going on somewhere or some stupid show that's based around drama, you're like, wow, at least their life's worse than mine right now. Like, that's not how you grow as a person. So be very, very clear not to waste time in those spaces. If all you do is surround yourself with the right books, the right influencers, the right events, you'll eventually find yourself attached to something more positive. You know, if you're a product of your 5 closest things, right, then what are they? What are the 5 closest things around you? When this gentleman's going through this thing, what are the 5 closest things that you're surrounding yourself by? And adjust them if it's not a good outcome.
so be cognizant of who you surround yourself with and what you surround yourself with. Yeah, so everyone out there, kind of do a self-check. We've talked about this before. Who are the 5 people that you associate most like? You are like them. What do you surround yourself with? You take on those characteristics. So be really, really cognizant of what and who you're surrounding yourself with. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and be honest on this one. Okay, women usually say family is their biggest achievement. Do you think it's okay if you feel your business is your biggest achievement? What is your biggest achievement?
I think that's up to you.
Okay.
No one's has, like, no man tells you, hey, your business has to be your most successful thing.
Okay.
It's really up to you. But in my case, you know, I'm a first generation American. I was pretty much a statistic. I shouldn't be successful
Okay.
if you really look at the numbers. So for me, yeah, you know, I consider myself successful, but I also have that in my mind that it's still not good enough. You know, I'm always trying to improve. And I'm sure all of us have that disease,
Yes.
that it's just you want more. And but at the end of the day, you know, because of that, I still feel that my biggest success is my family, because I'm happy with them. I'm calm. You know, when I'm in the moment with them, I'm in the moment, and I feel that I'm cherishing that. But on the career side, I don't know if I'll ever, you know, quench that thirst. And I think at one point it was really bad. But I've learned to manage that part. So, you know, like I said, it's up to the individual. But I think, once again, my family is the biggest success I have. And eventually, I don't know about quenching that thirst, but you know, it's going to be a nice ride getting there.
Excellent, excellent. Guys?
You know, my grandmother, she lived through the Depression, and one thing that she has always said to me is, you know, Johnny, you can always earn a dollar, you know. So I think that, you know, money will come and go, you know, jobs will come and go, you know, businesses will come and go, but family will always be there. You're always going to come home at night. You know, you have to have a solid foundation, because if you don't have if you don't have a good foundation, everything else on top is just going to crumble. You know?
So there was this quote. I don't. For those of you that tuned into the Dr. Jaime Show last week or the week before, there was this quote, maybe a Zig Ziglar or something like that, and he says, "Pretend you're juggling some 5 balls in the air, and you will soon come to know that 4 of them are like family, spirituality, health, whatever. That those are glass balls." And if you don't have that balance, when they hit the ground, they're going to shatter. But work is a rubber ball. It always bounces back. You're always going to have work. There's always something better you can do. There's always a job out there for you. So be very careful, you know, with these glass balls. And it sounds like that's kind of what I'm hearing. You can always keep going for work and keep going, and it bounces back. But to really cherish that family.
Not to say that work's not important.
Right, of course.
But you also have to have that strong foundation.
Yeah. Okay, guys, do you want to weigh in at all? Biggest, women usually say family is their biggest achievement. Do you think it's okay if you feel your business is your biggest achievement? And what is your biggest achievement?
Well, one quote I've heard is, you know, you're never going to be successful until you realize that you already are. And I think that's very true. I mean, I agree, like that unquenchable thirst. I mean, I definitely suffer for that. It's, you know, my wife is just like, you know, are you ever going to be like content? And I think that's what drives us as entrepreneurs, that we're never content. We're always restless and driving. But, you know, on the flip side, it's like you have to be grateful for what you have and grateful for your family and that sort of thing. You know, I'm passionate about kind of now seeing my son start to become passionate about business. And, you know, I'd love for him to be, to share that same passion in the same way a professional athlete might share, you know, being an athlete with their kid. For me, you know, my passion is business. And so, talking to my son and my children about that and getting them involved in the family business or whatever business that we're in would be really cool for me. But I think that having that gratitude for what you have is key, and it's hard because I'm always looking at the next shiny object or what's over there, or the grass is always greener. So.
Bring back okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to go to the next question. Let's see what time we're at.
I'm going to answer that.
Yeah, please.
I mean,
please.
I think to each his own, right? Me personally, I don't believe that your greatest achievement could ever be work.
Okay.
Like you said, you reverse engineer, right? Well, why do you work for this? Why do this for this? What all it's going to break down to, in a lot of ways, even family can be broken down. It's legacy to me. And for me, my greatest success was the fact, the one unrenewable asset. What is it? Time. Like we all know that,
yes.
right? It doesn't matter how rich and powerful or anything you are. Like you have 24 hours in a day. Period. So how many of those can you capture and own, right? So for me, my biggest success was I created even my new brand, Passive Massive. Like, that's the book I'm writing. That's what I'm doing, right? I want to create a world that works and funds everything I want to do, every passion I want to live out. I want it to be, I want to have all my time. That is my, and that's actually measurable, right? It's not unquenchable. I want to have every freaking hour of every day with whatever I want to do with it. When I hit that, I won.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, folks. We have a winner.
But I mean, at least that is, but see, when there's an end goal, you can know when you got there. And, content, never complacent, right?
Right.
That's a big thing, and it's a problem we've all lived in. More money. No, money ain't nothing.
Yeah.
It gives you that, like, you can be a millionaire, right? I was a millionaire. Like, that's what I mean. I guess it's still whatever.
3 weeks
But
ago.
the point is like when I was 29, I was officially a millionaire. But I was grinding like crazy. The only reason you want $1 million bucks, for those who've never had it, is so you can live like a millionaire. Well, you can do that now, right? You really can. It's how much of your time you get to keep, how much.
Read the story of the Mexican fisherman. Go Google search it after the Dr. Jaime show, the Mexican fisherman.
It's about lifestyle, it's about time. That's what I think success is. That's what I think you could find ultimate happiness. I think faith has a big piece in there. That it's not a suggestion, it's just what works for us. It's very peaceful. And last year, I almost passed away. I had an incident, and I got through that, and my perspective on so many things changed, on family, on business, on faith, on everything, right? So when you realize time's gone, the last thing you're worrying about is what you didn't get to do financially or what level you didn't get to. It's impactful, and it changes the way you think about things. So if you can be blessed enough to get to that mindset without going through the event, like, do that. And I think that's where you'll really find some success.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to do about one more question before we close the Dr. Jaime Show. We are doing a segment on men and work-life balance, and here is the final question. Let's see. What is your biggest regret with work-life balance? Bombshell. We'll be here for 2 more hours.
I would not living in the moment.
Okay.
Sometimes, actually, with my 18-month-old, there was so many times that I'm in the rocker, putting him to sleep, and instead of enjoying that single moment, I'm thinking, I gotta send an email, so for me, it just, and now you take those moments for granted. And I kind of wish I could go back in time. Now he's a little bigger, he doesn't want to lay on my chest anymore. So it's not only with my family, but things, just enjoy the moments you have and really embrace them. And I'm not saying, oh, this is the best time of my life, but just be aware that, you'll never have that again, or maybe something's going to change and things like that. But I think living in the moment, not doing enough of that was one of my biggest regrets. And it's, what's the saying? You tend not to regret the things you don't do. It's the things you regret the things you didn't do. So it's like, I'm sure all of us is like, man, I kind of wish I would have talked to that girl. You didn't regret that you talked to that girl. It's like you didn't talk to her. So,
Well, lucky for
But
you
luckily
guys,
I'm married.
you guys talked to the right girls, right, Wes? You talked to the right girl. So
Just an example.
I agree 100%. I think it's, being mentally present. And it's funny, we had our quarterly company meeting, and we had our company managers and executives say, a positive, negative thing about myself and my business partner. And one of the things that came up about me was not being like present mentally, and that's probably one of the things my wife would say too. And so it's interesting almost having the mindset of like a quarterly review meeting with your wife the same way you would with your team members and company, because that feedback was really great. And same, like a lot of things they said were the same things my wife said, like not being mentally present, not recognizing people as much as I could, and same thing my wife says, show more appreciation, be mentally present, because life is fast. And if you're just head down on your phone or thinking of all these
Right.
things as we tend to do, you're not living the moment.
One of the things that we've talked about before is on the Dr. Jaime Show is being, when you're physically somewhere, also being mentally there, right? Because
Sure.
so often you're physically somewhere, but you're nowhere to be seen.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, all right, so if you could leave the viewers before we close with one thing, just one simple thing to say to them, what would you leave them with today? John, you want to start? Put you on the spot.
Oh, wow, geez.
Yes, it needs to
I
be
would
super
just say,
profound.
I would really just say, just be aware, communicate, and make time for yourself. You really have to have your own happiness and, build a solid, you have to have a solid foundation in order to build a huge building.
Love it. Damien, what would you leave them with?
Just to continue on my regret, live in that moment, just, I hate to say the cliche, but live life to the fullest, so it's true in my opinion.
Nice. Chris, what would you leave them with?
Stop surrounding yourself with people who suck.
Yeah.
Stop. Literally, no, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason, but literally, stop. I can't be more serious. As funny as that may have been, I'm dead serious. Stop surrounding yourself with people who suck. Stop doing shit you hate. Stop going places you don't want to go. I came to an interview. I wanted to wear a damn hat. I did it. Like, there's these micro little pieces of happiness that when you start being truthful, everything else falls into place. Because you are one day closer to death right now. And I know that may be morbid, whatever, it's the truth. I lived it a minute ago. Thank God I made past that, right? But I'm on borrowed time. So every single day, I'm living in the moment. I don't regret anything I do. I make a decision. I don't care if it's the right one. I'm going to make it the right one. And I live like that. You got to think like that. You got to be like that. So every day you wake up. If someone said something the other day, I'm going to leave you all with this. If you wake up thinking about something that's not lying in bed next to you, get it the hell out of your life. If it's a bad deal, it's a bad partner, if it's a bad something, just get it out of your life because it don't matter. So there you go.
That's good.
It's tough one to follow.
Yeah. That'd be
That's just
profound,
me.
baby boy.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
just me.
profound.
Well, I'd say, nobody's perfect. No relationship is perfect. So don't feel bad if you're having a bad day or if you feel like your relationship could be better because, everyone is going through it.
Yeah.
No matter how good it looks like from the outside, people are all going through tough times. So, don't let the bad stuff get you down and
It doesn't have to be perfect.
it doesn't have to be perfect.
Never is.
Yeah, never is.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you so much to all of the viewers of the Dr. Jaime Show today. I hope you enjoyed these awesome men and talk about men and work-life balance. Next week, we're going to talk about children. Actually, we're going to do quite the shift. We're going to talk about what to do if your child is the bully, what to do if your child is bullying, and some tips on parenting. So if you like this segment on men and work-life balance, I've already gotten requests to have a second part. If you want that as well, message me and maybe we will have a second round of men and work-life balance. Thank you so much for being here on the Dr. Jaime Show. Have a great week. Happy Friday.
Thanks.
You guys have really good clothing.
On that note.